Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money with every spring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of new.
And there we go. And there we go. Hello, everybody. We made it. Oh my God. I apologize. I've been going through some terrors with internet
Mm,
connection the past week. It's been a complete nightmare.
mm.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's like I can't get this thing running. Does this thing work? Yes, it works.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
is.
There we go. But yeah, so tonight, basically, we got some housekeeping stuff real quick. The first thing is we have the first unofficial, unsanctioned, unrequited love kind of star party going on here. This is going to be, it looks like we're going to be keeping an eye on the weather for this. It's the first date is going to be the last weekend in August, and the second date is going to be the first weekend in September. So, that being said, I think that I mean it's still too far out to kind of see
Yep.
what's going on.
Yep.
I'm not sure if I like this here in the screen, but I'll figure out the sound later. But it sounds really good. but yeah, so that's the first thing. We got the Sun Sky Challenge also. We got that going on. We're still waiting for our first donor. Yeah, I haven't really been promoting it the way I promoted the last one. So I think I'm gonna start blasting once I get my Facebook groups things sorted. I've had some issue with a poster. So once that is fixed, um, I'll start promoting that a little bit more. But I think that we're gonna already be getting into the area where our main object that we originally started this off for is going to be coming back around. So, believe it or not, it's been almost a year since we've started this Southern Sky Challenge, and the Dragons of Ara is on its way back to where it's visible in Chile at the night sky. So, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. I think that's going to be a really, really cool object to get. I know that a lot of people want to play around with that data, depending on where in the world you come from. But I think that's going to be really cool. I don't know if you know this, Scott, because you weren't on Wednesday, but next Wednesday, Pete Proul
Yes.
from IP for AP and Masters of Pix Insight, or just now Masters of Pix Insight, they all merged IP for AP and Masters of Pix Insight into one entity. And Pete's going to be on Wednesday night at 9 p.m.
Excellent.
Eastern. He's going to be on.
Excellent.
And next month, it's this close to being locked in, is going to be Pete Myers in September.
Nice.
So Pete's going to come join us from Woodland Hills, formerly of Optical Structures. And he's going to come out and hang out with us and talk about what he's been up to. And
Yeah, and if you've never actually had a conversation with Pete Myers before, the guy he's just a major brain pan when it comes to building telescopes and so on and so forth. He helped me so much with this rig. You got to give Pete a call out at Woodland Hills. He lives to help people. Building really nice rigs, and he did an absolutely phenomenal job helping me with this setup. I couldn't be happier with it. So
yeah,
he's an awesome guy, and he loves to talk about this
he
hobby. He
does.
loves
He
to.
does.
He really does,
You
and
got to cut him
he
off
just
like
he's just
Stevie
a great
Wonder,
guy.
though. It's like,
Yeah,
you know. I'd like to thank. No, it's okay, Stevie. Take the award. Go ahead. but
yeah,
no. Listen,
awesome.
he has so much knowledge
Mm,
in his brain about
yeah,
how things that shouldn't fit together can.
yep,
And if you're at the point where you're got like a mishmash, or you got this vision in your head of a rig that you want to put together, like I have an Ioptron mount and a Takahashi scope, and I
hmm
want to do a moonlight focuser, and when if he can figure it out, He will. If it could happen, he could do it. He could figure it out.
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
saying that you could fit a moonlight to a Takahashi, but if there's a will, there's a way. So, um, are you looking at? I see you looking at. I'm not on the
Yeah.
page. So,
Gary Albin, he's saying, "Hey guys, I just heard the bad news from Ron at Moonlight. No more manual focusers are being
oh
made. Blah blah
yeah,
blah." Yeah.
that's something that's been in the works for a better part of 2 months now. Ron went full mechanical, full
Mm-hmm.
automated
Mm-hmm.
focusers.
Mm-hmm.
So no more automated, no more single two-speed Crayford rack and pinion, none of it. So he is going
Mm.
full-fledged automated. Um, he was going that way with his version 3 motor, which I have sitting over
Mm.
here. Really great motor. It's got the USB hub, everything in it. It's awesome. But you know, along with the light crawlers, the night crawlers, all of that. Um, I
Yeah.
mean, you know, a lot of people. There's still a market for manual focusers, and the people like GSO and others will still have that market. So manual focusers aren't going away. It's just that Ron over at Moonlights decided to focus his business into the automated field. So I could just
Yeah.
imagine what he's going to come up with next. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that guy's
Yeah.
awesome. That whole business is great. I can't give that guy a bigger heads up than anything. Very responsive, s- always responding to emails, no matter what time of day it is. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy's awesome. Um,
Yep. Yeah. And then there's Tariq. Uh,
yep, he's talking about
so you
the.
keep using
I'll
the
keep using my
stock and
stock or
cheap.
cheap replaced focusers for. Hey, Tarek. I mean, you know, I learned, I guess more recently than anything. If it's not broken, don't fix it. So I was getting a whole bunch of um, comments and questions. Not only I worked at the store twice this week, and I've been getting emails and stuff like that regarding SGP and what do I really need to go SGP because it's a little bit of a learning curve. So,
Mm.
but once I told the capability of SGP, a lot of people were asking me, well, oh my God, there's like 18 tabs. There's so much crap I need to know. Where do I get pixel size? Where do I get all this stuff? Image scale? What's that? I don't know. So, so basically, what I thought we might go over is, by the way, Dan, Tyler shipped a replacement 2.5. Blah, 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 blah. You got it, brother. Just be careful with FedEx and shipping these days
Oh.
and UPS. I mean, it's been a disaster. I mean, 11-inch scopes coming dented, focusers falling off, $3,000 refractors. It's been a mess. And these are things that were packed and shipped by them.
Yeah.
And it's been a complete disaster. I don't know who or what, you know, donkey or backhoe they're using to put these things on a pallet. But oh my God, it is
Yeah.
just
It's
ridiculous.
crazy.
I mean, I got pictures. I got like 5 or 6 pictures over the last couple of months of stuff that the guys at AstroWorld have shipped out,
Yep.
and they come. The boxes are look like somebody took a bite out of them, and the
Mm-hmm.
focus is hanging out. The 10-to-1 focus knob is hanging out the side of the box. I mean, it's it's crazy. It's crazy. If I can find someone to buy those stock focuses off my scopes, then I will. My new refractors having nice, amazing focus for now. Tarek, everybody's looking for parts. Everybody. Because you know why? You know why that people are looking for parts? This is why they're looking for parts. I get orders daily for like deck motor boards, RA locks, modular couplings for AC adapters, all this stuff. The reason why they're getting all this stuff is because they can't buy new scopes. It's impossible. You try and buy a new, and wait till my post tomorrow. Watch for my post tomorrow. You'll see what I mean. It's really funny. You're gonna love it. TikTok, Facebook, it's gonna be plastered all over the place. You're gonna see my dog. It's gonna be great. But it's impossible. It's like a year and a half for a decent scope. So what they're doing is they're trying to keep or repair their scopes the best way that they can. So they're trying to get these parts. And the bad thing is, the things that people need usually have some sort of microprocessor or some sort of semiconductor on it. And that's where the problem is. The problem is in the shortage of the electronics that are used to make these telescopes. It's usually not the making of the glass or the tube. It's what goes into it. Now, it's unfortunate that the optics and the tubes that are made in Asia, there still is an issue there. But the semiconductor stuff, and you're going to start seeing it in the trucks, cars, that kind of stuff. You are already seeing it now with the backups on those. So it's not only the glass of the tube, it's a lot when you're dealing with semiconductors and stuff like that, especially in China. So.
Oh, the backlog on the chips in China is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know, the car industry right now is suffering so horribly because of that. You know, that's why the cost of used cars is skyrocketing. You know, I mean, it just. I literally was able to. Somebody offered me more money than my Jeep was worth, like a lot more, and I'm like, yeah, I'd do it, but I can't buy another one. I can't get another one. You know, so. Yeah,
so Scott, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but it appears that you have been missed over the past week or two.
Oh, isn't that nice?
So Jim's Astro and a couple other guys are saying, "Welcome back." You know, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys know what's been going on.
Yeah, tell them what's going on.
We're definitely moving. We're moving to Florida, just up north of Tampa, and my wife has actually secured a phenomenal position in a company in Tampa. Northern Tampa, and so we're in the hunt right now for a house in that area. And for the last going on now 3 weeks, I've been going absolutely crazy in this house trying to get it ready to put on the market. I've lived in this house ever since I was 3 years old. I bought it from my parents about 17 years ago, and I've been here my whole life. So this house is incredibly well lived in, and it needed some love as far as getting it up on the market. Fortunately, as a cabinet maker and a carpenter, I have those skills, so I've just been in the wood shop. I literally, before I jumped and put my headset on tonight, I was upstairs with my HVLP sprayer, spraying trim, in my son's bedroom. And it's my last big job I need to do upstairs is get his room rehabbed, and it's almost done.
Well, hopefully your schedule will start to free up just a tad, where you could come and hang out with me an hour a week. So,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's just Wednesday. I literally fell asleep Wednesday.
I don't want to hear it.
I passed.
I don't want to hear it. I don't care. No, nobody cares.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, Scott, are you coming? You coming, Scott? Scott? Hello? I guess I'm doing it by myself tonight. All right. So, hey, you know what? We all have personal lives. We all have stuff going on with everything. You got a really big life change going on right now. And you know what? I'm sure you're going to love it down there. Although, when you do move down there, and then I move a little bit closer to you, I'm going to have you coming up and doing all that crap you just did in your old house to sell it in my house so I can sell mine. So it
helps when you got a full wood shop in your basement.
It helps when you have a basement, which I don't have. I'm on a slab.
Yeah, I got to get used to that. They don't have basements in Florida.
No.
They're no nothing.
Yeah, but
It's
you
yeah,
usually have like 2 car garages or something like that.
yeah,
So, or if not 3 car garages or
three
4.
car.
You know, I mean, you got the double car garage. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get if you got those really ugly carports that they have down there, but
yeah, yep, yep.
you know they you don't have the underground space because of where you are as compared to sea level.
Yeah.
But they make up for it because there's a lot more land around, so you could
Yep.
build horizontally instead of vertically. So,
Yep. Well, and that's what I'm looking at right now is a house that has a nice big man shed. You know, it's got a man cave. You know, in the back, and I'll be able to
yeah,
put the telescope back in there and
that's
roll
what
it
I
out
need.
onto the concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have a wood shop back in there. It'll be
All right, so let's talk a little bit about SGP because we digress here.
really good. Yeah.
Let's talk a little about SGP because we're already a half an hour. We're already a half an hour into the show. It's crazy.
So we just start flapping our gums.
Yeah. So I do have, if I could do this. Let's see, where is it? Desktop capture. There we go. We're on my desk. Can you see my desktop now?
Yeah, I got it.
Because it wasn't working the other night. So.
Yep, no, it's there.
All right. Good.
Got you.
You could feel free to jump in, absolutely. And I just want to make sure that this is on my screen too, because I don't think it is. It's not. There we go. There's my eagle. All right. So let's talk a little bit about SGP and what SGP is. Before I even get into this, let me get out of this, and I'll go back to the camera real quick because Scott decides to disappear and walk around in his shorts. So
Sorry.
at least you had
Dog
shorts
was
on.
chewing on my backpack.
Nice. But let's talk a little bit about what Sequence Generator Pro does. Now, the first things first, it's a paid app or a program. I want to say it's $59 a year and a $129 one-time setup,
Hmm.
if I remember right.
Yep.
But it's really an all-in-one, non-stop shopping for people that have different types of ecosystems in their imaging rig. So
Frankenscopes.
yeah, not even that. I mean, mine used to be a Frankenscope, but I still have different things involved. I
Yep.
have the Eagle, which runs
Yep.
SGP. I have a Prima Luce focuser. I have a QHY camera. You know, so I mean, I got a bunch of different things. Plus, I got the HEQ 6R Pro, whatever. And then on my
Yep.
other one, I got a Moonlight focuser on that. And I got, soon to be the.
For guide cameras, both the 290 and the 174, and I've got the 2600 mono and color. So they're all ZWO cameras, but I've got a Feather Touch Crayford with their Feather Touch focus system. You know, that running, and all that's being run by the Eagle 3 Pro, and that runs SGP. And SGP is freaking awesome. It is. It's, I really have. It's grown on me. It took me a little while to get used to it. Thanks to Dan. Dan helped me out to learn a little bit about it, and others. But it's so worth the learning curve. It's worth taking that few extra hours to really sit down and learn it. And then University of YouTube, man, there's lots of great videos up there on SGP.
Yeah.
Phenomenal good stuff that it'll get you up and running in a few hours.
And of course, don't forget the AstroWorld videos on SGP as well. So, I
There you
mean,
go.
we got plenty of
All up on
stuff in there.
YouTube.
What's that?
All up on YouTube.
Yeah, all up on YouTube, all on our channel. Subscribe to AstroWorld TV, and you can see all those videos. I think I have 2 or 3 about SGP on there, but it's really like a one-stop shopping. So it'll run your telescope. Well, you won't run your
Mount.
telescope. It'll run your mount. People make that kind of mistake. I don't know. I never understood why they call it telescope. It doesn't run the telescope. It runs the mount.
Right.
So the mount, so it'll run that. It'll run the focuser. It'll run your camera.
Yep.
It'll run your filter wheel. What am I missing? It'll plate solve. It'll
Mm-hmm.
run your guiding for you through
Mm-hmm.
PhD guiding or pinpoint LE, and I'm missing one. I forget what the other one is. There's a third one. All sky plate solver, I think it does as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it will also, if you're so inclined to build a robotic observatory, it'll run your observatory. It'll rotate the dome. It'll close the shutter. It'll do everything for you. So
The flat panel.
flat panel and rotator as well. Up there goes Scott. We're losing Scott.
Yeah. No,
Scott's
I
got to
didn't
stop
want to cough in
smoking
your ear.
before the show.
Uh,
As Scott drinks his water,
I
I'll
got
drink
my
my
water.
Jack and Coke. So
yep. Oh, and I got a visitor. I got a visitor.
hey, Dougie, there he is. You gotta be in Florida soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
doggy.
He's
All
been
right,
wanting attention.
so let's talk a little bit about SGP and what and how we could actually just begin the setup of it. Um, and I'm gonna get rid of this social. There we go. And so here's the eagle, and this guy right here is Sequence Generator Pro with the little two arrows, and this is what it kind of looks like. So when you, I'm gonna get rid of some of my garbage here. When you just boot it up, and I got all these pictures here. There we go. It's gonna look kind of like that. And
Yep.
basically, I'm gonna make this a little different
And
because
you
it's.
can customize all those the panels on the right and left
Oh
hand
yeah,
side.
we'll get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Um,
that's it's really it's a neat way to do things.
so first things first, when you're just starting with Sequence Generator Pro, the first thing you want to do is go into your equipment profile manager, or you can go right down the list.
Hmm.
It's good to do the user profile manager, I guess, first,
Yep.
and then you'd see a whole bunch. Like I have a whole bunch of different things because they have different latitude, longitude on them.
Hmm.
So this is home, okay, and I put the latitude, the longitude, my horizon, and I also have this saved as a default in new sequence. If I want to change that, I could use this profile, but I am mostly home, so I will use that one.
Yep.
So you could get now, you could get these numbers for your latitude and longitude. You could just go right to your telephone and run the compass on your iPhone, on your Android, whatever. Just run the compass and it'll give you your latitude and longitude. And Scott looks like he's gonna, and I'll put the, hold on a second, I'll put this back up. And there's the compass that Scott has. And if you could just bring it a little closer, yeah. So one of these lines down here says 40 degrees north and whatever latitude and longitude he is. You just take these numbers and you just plop them into the latitude and longitude in SGP.
Yep.
And that will get you started for the user profile manager. That's the easy part.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
the
that's
easy
the easy
part.
part.
Now, when you go back to Sequence Generator Pro and go into the equipment profile manager, and you're going to see I have a couple here. And you'll see that it comes up with some templates, like an LRGB template, a narrowband template, a couple other templates, DSLR. I think there's a Canon template. But whatever the case may be, you could use that, or you could just start from scratch. And sometimes the templates work out. Most of the time they don't, depending on what you have in your rig. So the first thing you want to do is change one of the things, the name of it,
Mm.
to what you want your name to be. So if I just do Dan2, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I save it. Oh, I just messed it up. And then I save that. And now I got
Yep.
profile Dan2. Okay. Now, we'll go over this in a second, the file naming pattern, because that's a little bit of a to-do. But basically what you want to do is you just want to go right down these tabs here. Okay,
Yep.
so the first thing is camera. Okay, well, camera, well, what do I have? This list right here is going to be all of the ASCOM drivers that you have loaded up. So if I have a Nikon or a Canon or a QHY, which I have, my S-Big, a ZWO camera, whatever it is, it could also be a Windows driver as well, that it will see it. So I have the QHY CCD, so that's camera capture. Don't ask me why it says camera capture. That's just the... But that's how it is. Let me just get the live stream feed on this side so I can see what's going on. Nothing going on. Okay, good. And of course that. There we go. All right. So you can use your cooler, cool down. I like to cool down to -10. And this 10-minute is kind of arbitrary. You could leave it there if you want. Or you could do a warm-up as well when you're done with your sequence. On this tab, I like to cool down on Camera Connect. Cool down on sequence start is a good idea if your camera does not hold temperature. So you may want to do that. Then you can put your camera gain, your offset. And don't worry about so much angle yet, but scale, readout noise, and pixels are the main things here. So image scale is huge. That's how it's going to know how to plate solve and what you're looking at. Okay? So how do I get image scale? Scott, you know how to get image scale?
Should be right from the manufacturer.
Not there's an
On,
easier
on
way.
the manufacturer website for like ZWO.
No, because the image scale is based on your focal length.
Oh, focal length.
So it's based on focal length and array size. So you get some of the stuff from your manufacturer's website, but it's not going to know what telescope focal length you have.
Right.
So what you could do is,
Factor that in.
yeah, you got to factor that in. So here you go. There's a really cool calculator at Celestial Wonders. And I already have Celestial Wonders image scale. Okay? And you just go to the field of view calculator and you just plop your stuff in here. So I know that my pixel size is 6 microns. I know my focal length was 952. That's the 127. And then the width I think is 4540. And the height I think is 3630, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just calculate it. And there's your image scale right there. 1.3. So now all you do is you take that, go back into Sequence Generator Pro, if I can find it again. There we go. And you would do scale 1.3.
There you go.
My readout noise, you could get that from your manufacturer's website, just like Scott had said. And my is 9.3. Really noisy camera because it's a CCD camera. Most cameras these days are, I don't know, what's your camera at? Do you know, Scott?
the
The
read noise,
294 or the 2600
the
or
2600. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what it is.
yeah, I'm trying to think what the let's see if we do
It's
ASI.
relatively, it's
Oh,
like
it's like
nothing.
1 point something.
Yeah, it's really small.
ASI 23 specs, and it is read noise is 1.0 electrons to 3.3
Yeah.
depending on your gain.
Yep.
So you're a third of mine at the worst. so
Yeah.
so and then you got to put your pixel size in there again. We said it was 4540 and 3630. Whoops.
Yep.
This I don't really kind of mess with. I just leave it at default, and my camera gain I leave it at 0, and there's no camera offset here, so I leave that alone. I set that actually in the settings here.
Mhm.
Now when I don't have the camera connected, and I should have done that. But when you click settings here, this will change the settings in your ASCOM driver. And if I just do a simulator real quick and do the settings, it'll tell you some of the settings that you
Yep.
can change. QHY camera owners beware. There's something called an overscan setting. Make sure that's unchecked, or else you're gonna look at 4540, but it's gonna download at like 6,000 by 4,000, so it's gonna be a big mess. And then you're gonna try and stack it, and it's gonna be a big disaster. Scott, what do you got on Sequence Generator Pro? You want to talk a little bit about the filter tab, and I'll just do it
Yeah.
from here.
The filters.
Do you remember?
Well,
Do you
see,
remember how to do this?
Yeah, filters. Like I was originally wasn't going to use a filter wheel, and then I thought I might, but with my Astrodon OAG, it has a filter slider, so I have to do filters manually. So you can set your filter tab for either manual, or you can do a filter wheel, and then configure it for whatever size whatever filter wheel you got, 5, 7, 9, whatever it might be, and all of your different filter wheel configurations that are available, and of course which filters you're using. Like we have, we're running mono cameras primarily in deep sky, and so we're running a full complement of LRGB and narrowband filters. So we've got 7 filters that we need to set up in this this thing. It will give you all the parameters for what the filters do, and what their individual characteristics are. The band pass and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't have a filter wheel. Mine's
because
manual.
now I'm not. I gotta go back. I gotta go back to the camera now, because I'm gonna yell at you a little bit, Scott. Because I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Uh-oh.
I was looking so forward to the video of you running out in the snow, changing that filter thing to change filters at 2 o'clock in the morning in like 10 inches of snow. I was so looking forward to that. Now he's gonna be in 70-degree Florida in his shorts, going in there and changing his filter.
Don't hate me.
Screw you, man. Screw you. You must respect my authority. But
Yeah.
anyway, now we're all happy for Scott. He's definitely on his way to hopefully definitely a sunnier life. Hopefully the clouds will part, and
We'll see. It's actually supposed to be pretty nice down in there. They've got. I've already bullseyed at least 3 astronomy clubs that are like within an hour of
I'm sure.
the area that we're looking at. You know, so I'm excited to get down there and meet new people and introduce new people to AstroWorld, which is going to be fun.
Psyched.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so like Scott was saying with the filter wheel, again, you're gonna see a whole bunch of filter
Yep.
wheels here based on whatever you have installed. And if you do not have any filter wheels like Scott has, and
Hmm.
he doesn't know it yet, but he's gonna hate it. He's gonna hate not having a mechanical filter wheel. He's gonna buy one within months. He's gonna buy one. Trust me.
Mm.
It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It's just a natural evolution.
Hmm.
You're gonna hate it. You're just gonna get too lazy, and you're not gonna want to do it. But anyway, but all your filter wheels are here. And as Scott was saying, if I go under the simulator and you go into settings, you could change your filter names to whatever you want.
Yep.
Red, oops, red, whatever, green,
Yep.
and
RGB.
so on and whatever. And you got, if you have 7 slots, you could do up to 7. Um, yes, Tarek, there is manual, and believe it or not, ZWO sells a couple of the manual filter wheels. Um, uh, I don't know if you could consider what Scott has as a filter wheel. It's more of like a filter slider.
It's a slider.
Yeah, so he's got a rectangular kind of slider that he puts the circular filters in. He slides it in and out. That's it. I know you know, Tarek. I'm just saying it for the people that don't know. I know you know this. You're a smart guy. But so that's how you do it with the ASCOM drivers there. And as far as Sequence Generator Pro knows, you still need to set the filters here too, because this is the information that's going to go end up in your file name, whatever you want.
Yeah. Yep.
The one thing you could also do on this, again, you see a 12 filter wheel. I don't know anyone has a. That thing's got to be the size of like, I don't know, a serving platter or something. But you could do when you're doing autofocus with this, you could do an autofocus exposure time, and you could change it based on the filter. So if you're doing narrowband like H alpha, maybe you want to be a little bit higher, like this one is at 4 seconds, whereas your luminance, which maybe would be here, is 1 second, just for autofocus.
Yeah, and if you know the specific step size, step not size, the specific step number for where focus is, depending on what filter you're using,
Yep.
you can plug those numbers in as well, so that it just automatically moves to that. It doesn't run the focus routine; it just moves to that position.
Yeah, and that's over here.
Yep. Yeah, and that's really nice. That takes a little bit of fiddling, to figure out exactly where your step size is.
Yeah,
It's
and
not step size.
I'll be honest with you. Have
It's
you ever
step
used this,
position.
Scott? Have you ever
Nope,
used this? I've
not
never
yet.
used it either. And the real reason why is no matter what you do, it's good to get like a bearing on your focus, like kind of like a maybe like a starting point. Whenever I change, whenever I change filters, I always do an autofocus routine anyway. So I haven't found a need to put a focus offset in there.
Yep.
I wish companies like Radian and Optolong would provide more detail in regards to exposure compensation for each filter. It's a pain to manually figure it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Hence
It's
the autofocus routine for each filter.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna have to kind of manually figure that out. And you know what's kind of good, and maybe I'm misreading your statement, Gary, but as far as exposure compensation, you may want to do and I stopped using this, so I'm probably barking up the wrong tree here. Um, the sensor analysis on SharpCat. If you do that with a filter like an HA, narrowband, broadband, whatever, you can find out what your optimum exposure time can be. Now, I gotta say something about this, and I don't know if you've used this, Scott. The sensor analysis.
Not yet.
Scott disappeared and closed his door. Thank God I didn't change the
No.
camera yet.
I had to close the garage door.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So the sensor analysis is kind of a beta program through SharpCat, which can give you a baseline on what kind of exposure you should use for each individual filter. Now here's the thing. This is, and I could be doing this all wrong. So if any of you guys want to shout, yell, scream, moan at me, that could be just me. So I did it with my luminance filter. And then I took a picture with the flats and blah, 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 and whatever. And it told me that my optimum exposure was 15 to 20 seconds. And for a while, and we did this on the show, I guess a couple months ago, and I'm like, that can't be right. That can't be. I mean, I have a nice picture of M101 that I was doing 5-minute subs, and it came out fine. So, but it scared me to the point that I stopped doing RGB. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Not doing it. It's not worth it.
Way too fast.
So I spoke to a friend of mine, Mike Siniscalchi, from Long Island, and he's an A-Pod winner from Long Island, and he took a little hiatus and went out of the stopped doing astrophotography, and now he's getting back into it again. So I started talking to him again, and I was like, dude, he put up a picture the other night, and it was awesome. And I know where he lives. He's like 3 miles away from my house. And I'm like, Mike, what do you do to get these photos? He's like, oh, I do 5 minutes, sometimes 10-minute subs. Broadband? Yeah, I do it. I said, what do you feel about gradient? He's like, Dan, I don't even use a light pollution filter.
Is he shooting from his
backyard, which is just
Really?
as light polluted as my own.
Okay.
So he does all his image processing through Photoshop, from what I know. But I'm not about to do all that. But it just shows me that narrowband is more than possible. I'm sorry, broadband is more than possible. In my crud skies that we have on Long Island at Bortle 8+9. So I'm gonna get back on the broadband wagon and start doing some broadband again, because
I'm kind of wondering what I mean, is he averaging out the light pollution in Photoshop? Is that where he's doing it?
unsure.
Okay. Yeah. I'd be interested to see what he's because I mean, you're what, Bortle 8?
Yeah, we're Bortle 8. I think it's a 17.88 SQM.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's basically, just somebody's shining a spotlight right at my house all the time. So.
Yeah. The star is out. It's a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the truth. That's the truth. But hey, Eric, what's going on? Eric joined in. That's the filter wheel part of it, really quick. And again, we're really going over kind of quick on how this gets set up. There's a lot more to it, and if you have any questions, I'll throw up our email at the bottom. I believe that did it. Let's see. Let me go back to it. Yep. So
Yep,
you
it
could you
did.
could send it right there, and you could ask us any questions if you have any issues setting it up, or if you want to get uh, contact directly one of the members at AstroWorld. They all have their own email, and it's basically their first name at astroworldweb.com. So we have Eric, Jason, Scott, Tyler, Tegan, Simon, and myself. So,
Yep.
did I miss anybody? No. Okay. We've been growing. Like I can't understand that we got like 7 people. I don't get it. I love it. It's great, but it's just like I never realized that this was gonna build with even 2 people. I mean,
Yeah.
me and Charlie started this 3 years ago, and that moved to me and Tim Cowell.
Jason.
No,
Oh,
Tim
Tim.
Cowell,
Mm-hmm.
over at Astro Backyard Imaging Club,
Mm-hmm.
um, and um, and then it moved to me and Eric. I think were
Mm-hmm.
next two, and then Jason came in, and then Tyler came
Tyler.
in. Then you came in. Then well, Simon was always involved, but Simon's on a different. He's on a different planet. This guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's literally in New Zealand, so he's 13. Like it's tomorrow afternoon over there. So, um, but anyway, so that's the filter part. We'll cancel that out, and then you go to your focuser. Now, if you have your focusers again, all your focusers, just remember that nothing's going to be here if you don't load up either the ASCOM or Windows driver for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's
You gotta
got to
have
be
those
in there.
drivers.
Yeah, if you don't
Yeah.
have it, it's not going to be there. So I
It's
have
like
the
with plate
Asana.
solving. You gotta,
Yeah. Oh,
you
we'll
gotta
get to
have
that.
the registries. Yeah.
So I have the Asado, and
Yeah.
it's really important. And this may not work. Um, yeah, no, that is it under other? No. When you go under your autofocus routine, which is here. So if you want to use an autofocus routine, you got to set it up here.
You don't have your screen sharing.
What? Oh, wow. I'm
You're,
sorry. There you
yeah.
go. Sorry.
There you go.
My bad. So, like I said, what you're going to do is you're going to set up your focuser, put the driver, and then you
Yep.
use autofocus right there, and then set. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be different for every camera. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, every
And every
focuser.
focuser.
My bad.
Yep.
Um, so the default is HFR, half flux radius. You
Mm-hmm.
could change this if you want, but I've found that this
Yeah.
is a really decent algorithm to use.
Yep. It does work
So
well.
yeah, um, I'm not going to autofocus every frame. I'm not that crazy. Um, I do autofocus every 10 minutes, no matter what, if I'm on a same filter or not. And that may be every other image. If I'm taking 5 minute subs, it's every other image.
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's something that you can do. Autofocus on filter change. I always do that. Okay. Autofocus before sequence start. Yes. Autofocus on resume. That's usually not necessary. Autofocus after automatic centering. So that's when you're plate solving. So that's
Plate
not
solving.
necessary either. Now, um, your autofocus exposure.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this comes in again. Remember we went over this before in the filters tab.
Yep. Yeah, because the autofocus exposure for a red filter is going to be different than it is for an HA filter.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's just going to be majorly different.
Yeah, and
You know.
I'm stupid lazy. So I basically just focus with my luminance filter just to get through it. And then I start with luminance. That's going to autofocus again anyway
Mm-hmm.
because it's starting the sequence. So it's going to autofocus anyway. and it's going to tell you, okay, and if you have one shot color, how many seconds are you going to expose
Yep.
for your autofocus?
Right.
If you want to bin during autofocusing, you can up to 4x4.
Yeah, and that can be very useful for your, your narrow bandpass filters.
Yeah.
Your 3 nanometer filters and so on and so forth. Sometimes
Absolutely.
you need to get that binning higher in order to get a star even in focus, to even see one.
Yeah, or you need the resolution. So basically, with
Yeah.
binning, you're actually combining pixels to get a bigger pixel. So your resolution, your image scale gets smaller, but your resolution gets bigger.
Yeah.
So you're able to kind of pull out those dimmer stars, just like Buddy Scott just said. Now this is the biggie: step size.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggie.
Yep.
And there is no silver bullet here.
No, there is not. It is completely dependent on,
This is
on
totally
what focus
like,
you're using.
yeah, you gotta know. You gotta kind of
Yep.
test and try. Do whatever. Talk to somebody that has your focuser that uses SGP. Do something. Because to just do this on your own manually, to kind of just arbitrarily throw numbers in there,
Yeah.
you'll be there all night trying to get your autofocus set up. So,
Yep.
for example,
It drove me crazy.
my Asado is set at
Yeah, 2,000?
7,000.
7,000. Yeah,
Um,
because it's a crazy number of steps.
Yeah, so the Asado is a .04 micron step size.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Yeah,
it's
like
got
the feather
like
touch.
millions of steps. So it's like,
Yep.
in order to get a V curve, because when you're doing an autofocus routine, what you're doing is it's going to rack out your focuser a little bit. And then hopefully, if you're close to focus as it is, it'll start building a curve like this.
Going back in.
So it's going to keep on going the same direction. So hopefully your focus gets better on the first couple, and then it gets worse on the last couple, and then it takes the average of the best. So that being said, Sequence Generator Pro is really smart. If you're nowhere near focus and it just keeps on getting worse and you don't get that V curve, it's going to say, hey, you know what? Smart focus isn't working. So now we're going to assume focus is outward or inward, depending which way, and it's going to kind of change it and move it around. So it may take a couple of iterations of getting it, but once you got it, you're good. You're good. So then you get your step size and you're fine.
Yeah, that's I can't emphasize enough the importance of going to the manufacturer, and getting with people that they recommend. That when I went to FeatherTouch, I talked to the guy that actually built the motors. They built the focus system, and
Yep.
and he then put me in touch with a guy out in Washington, Gary. And Gary helped me out with, he punched in a few numbers into some of his, things, and he helped me to figure out all of the fiddle work, in getting this dialed in. But the thing is that once you get it, just like what Dan said, once you get it, it's just sweet cherry pie, man. It just works and works and works. It's just freaking awesome.
We got a bunch of comments here that I haven't been paying attention to.
I'm sorry, guys.
Nope, that's okay. Gary, the only disappointment I have was Ecos Live Premium. It's not what I thought. I've never used it. Tarek has heard nice things about Voyager, but he doesn't want to move on until it has everything he needs. It looks like he's looking for Live View. So I could check the focus all the time. Someone told me about an option that I don't like. Yeah, Tarek, no live view, unfortunately. However, if you want to switch kind of back and forth with Sharp Cap, you could get that live view.
Yeah, but I run both of them.
I run both of them at the same time too. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. With the Sequence Generator Pro autofocus routine, it's pretty darn good. It
It's
really
really good.
is. And
Yeah.
once you get it down, I go to bed. I got 7 hours of data the other night, and I slept through half of it. I waited for the meridian flip and went to bed.
Yeah.
And the pictures came out great. Now I had a little bump in the road. Of course, something happened with my flattener, and it moved out a little bit, and the stars are a little elongated. So I'll have to either do the data over again or do some morphological transformation for all the stars because I was just too close I was too close. And I had to move back probably about 2 millimeters. I gotta test it. I'm not 100% sure. So, what else do we got? And another thing,
Yeah, Gary. Yeah, he's talking about the ZWO autofocuser.
yeah, the
Gary,
EAF.
I had that, and trying to get that thing to work with my 14, it was a nightmare. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, and it was never predictable. I don't have anything against the system. It's a great system for some people. It just did not work for me.
Yeah,
The backlash, around 70 steps. Yeah, he's talking about getting focus or backlash at 70 steps. Yeah, I was there. I was there all day long. I think it comes down to the EF and the actual focuser as a
yep,
combination. Yeah, yeah. I finally got fed up with it, Gary, and I just went full on feather touch. I got their the full Monty. From feather touch. The Crayford, the motor, the focus system itself. It's freaking awesome.
yeah.
Uh,
I
so
mean, there's
like the
something to be.
Moonlight,
What was that?
like the Moonlight. The Moonlight's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, but again, when you're going to the moonlight, and we're not even talking about Nightcrawler or Lightcrawler
Oh
range.
God, no.
Even the
Freaking
version
awesome.
3 stepper motor at 400 and change, plus
Yeah,
the mini version 2 controller, which is 200 and change, the
yeah,
flange that you're gonna need for the focuser.
yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be $1,000 investment for a decent focuser.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the feather touch all day long. That's
Yeah,
exactly what it was. It
yeah,
was right around $1,100.
yeah. Same thing
Yeah,
with the moonlight. Same thing with the
yeah.
moonlight. But I
But
mean, there's
it
something to be
works.
said for what is it? What's he saying?
It works.
It does work. It works. It does work. I gotta say, I've used it. It works. The stars look good.
Yeah.
You just really got to know the step size, and you got to play around with the backlash, and you got to know those numbers to get a decent focus.
Yeah,
Um,
that's one of the things with with like the focusers that we're that Dan's talking about, like the feather touch, like the moonlight. The feather touch, the one that I have, it's clutch driven, so
yep,
the backlash is practically non-existent. Yeah,
yep,
it's not all it's not completely gone, but
right.
it's a very very small amount because it's a direct drive. It's clutch driven. It's
And
it's really nice. It's a nice
that's
system.
why I love this Isato. I will never go back to anything else. This thing is gorgeous,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. I mean, this thing is great. The precise focusing that you have on it is ridiculous. I
I'm
mean,
curious, Dan, do they make an Asado for an SCT?
no, you got to use the Sesto Senso.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, actually, no, 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 no. That's a lie. That's a lie. I actually saw an Asato
Oh,
on the rear cell on a
oh.
C11.
On the actual not in the image train. I'm talking about like on the actual focuser for that moves the mirror in and
On
out.
the knob, no.
Yeah.
No, the knob, you would have to get the Sesto Senso. If you want to
Hmm.
put it on the rear cell, then you could have an Asato.
Yeah, I tried doing something like that with the feather touch, and we went round and round and round trying to figure out how
Yep.
to best do this, and we finally settled on just focus with the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, that's, listen, because what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get it close with the knob, and then you would have to kind of lock down the mirror, and
Hmm.
then use your rear cell focuser to focus at that point, because you'll be in the middle anyway. You know what I mean? So you'll have to
Yeah.
start halfway racked in or racked out. It's going to be a little bit of a weird kind of setup. But
Yeah.
for SCT, I would tell you to go Sesto Senso and just throw it on the knob.
Hmm. Yep. Either
Will
that or
SGP
the
send
feather
an
touch.
alert if something goes wrong? Yes, it does. And if you're sleeping, you won't know it because it's not a loud alert, but it does. And if it loses the guide star, if the plate solve doesn't work, if anything happens where it throws off the sequence, you have on the right side an alert panel. So yes, it does tell you what's going on at each part of the sequence. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you just got to figure out how to slate an electrode, that you can connect to your neck or something, so that when something goes wrong, it buzzes you awake.
Telling you, man. Hook it up to some banana clips. You know, to like one of those car batteries with like 30 cranking amps.
That'll get you out of bed in a
That'll
minute.
wake you up. Um, the Sesto Senso, it's not that expensive, but it's really good. I would consider it a step up from the EAF, but it's the
Oh yeah.
same type of focuser. And the Sesto Senso 2 just came out. It's only about $100 more than the EAF. It's got all the adapters. Where's there's the stats. Oh, it's compatible with almost every scope. All the TS optics, the Takahachis, the Skywatcher Esprits, the Evo Stars, the GSOs. Um, I don't
Yeah.
see Schmitz on there though. Huh. I don't see Schmitz on there.
Yeah. You do. I think that. Well, now Moonlight isn't. Are they going to be making Crayford
Oh yeah, no,
focusers
they
or
got
whatever?
Richter Crichtons with 2 or 3 inch focusers, so it's got to be good with Schmitz.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just looking at the actual sensitivity of it because it's point oh 0.07, it's point 0.7 microns. So
Hmm.
um, point 0.7 microns is ridiculous. So
Yeah. That's yeah. Very very small step size.
yeah,
Let's see. Yeah, George says Ghost Star is on a micro touch focus system on the SCP. Have to replace the focus knob with the feather touch. Yeah, yeah. I can
let me
pay.
see. I didn't
Let's
see
see.
that one.
I can pay up
There
to
you go.
$300 for what motor? So CWO or PLL have to decide what red color.
They're both red. They're both red.
Yeah,
However, I think, and if we want to talk numbers, ZWOEAF.
yeah.
I
It's
love
not that
having that. I
expensive.
love having this keyboard here. It's awesome. Um, I'm just looking to see the specs on it and how much. What the. I don't even think they give it to you. To be honest with you.
Yeah, the problem with the ZWO setup is that it doesn't have a direct drive system for the box. It's got that spring, kind of connector that connects the motor
To the rod.
to the rod, and
Uh,
and there's a significant amount of flex in that,
yep.
and that flex is going to change with temperature.
That's
It's
true.
metal. It's metal. So it's not predictable. At least it wasn't predictable for me.
Right, so they don't
You
give
know.
you the micron, and for those of you math whizzes out there, you can figure it out. Um, so this it's a stepper motor with 5,760 steps for a full circle. So that's not a lot of steps.
No.
So it's not going to be as accurate as the Sesto Senso, or the the
Moonlight,
Prima Luce
Flash.
Asato, or the Moonlight.
Yeah.
It's not going to be as sensitive, but it's also only $199. So that's,
Yeah.
and it works with the premier kind of accessory that everybody is getting with ZWO, which is the ASI Air.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you have nothing to do. You need to get that. You can't use any other focuser with the ASI Air. You have to have the EAF.
This is, how do you like the Esco?
We're getting a lot. You guys are talking a lot tonight. We got Tarek, Gary, and Jim just like blasting up the chat boards.
Yeah.
Tarek, how do you like the Ascar? Yeah, oh yeah, the Ascar 400. He just got it. Put it on Facebook.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome, Tarek. I can't wait to see it. You take some awesome shots, so I can't wait. I can't wait to see. I don't think he's making fun of me. Tarek, one of the guys in SCAS has one. May ask him to show me the ropes when he's imaging the. Just so you know, Gary Jason, one of the guys on AstroWorld, owns the ASCAR 400, and he actually did a review on our channel. You can check that out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I know that Simon, I think, also has the ASCAR. So I think we have two members that have it, and they both love it. They both love it. Can't say the same for the 600, but the 400 is really, really, really a good scope for. It's a quintuplet. It's awesome. So if you could grab it, grab it. I know that Camera Concepts is unfortunately waiting on their shipment right now, but we do have plenty of red cats if you want them. I got 17 red cats, so
Oh.
yeah. So we stocked up on the red cats. We haven't found. I know I think they stopped the space cats, but
Yeah, Gary's saying that you live in Miami. Gary, what's your Bortle class in Miami? I'm just curious.
it's got to be like 7 or 6.
It's gotta be higher than 6. Miami's huge.
Yeah. Portal scale.
He's gotta be upwards of 7, if not 8.
Let's see. Clear dark sky, light pollution out. Oh my God, it's white. So
Yeah.
it's 8.
Yeah. Yeah, Miami is huge.
Depending on where you are in Miami, I mean, central Miami is just like Long Island.
Yeah.
You don't get into the yellow scale, which is like a 5, which is orange.
Yeah.
You got to travel quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Bortle 8-9. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, Gary, I feel your pain, brother. I feel it.
Do you have a dark sky site, Gary?
In Florida?
I was just wondering if he's
just got to
one
go
he
to the
travels
Keys,
to.
man. He's good.
Yeah, you go to the Keys.
Yeah, it's only like what, an hour and a half away.
Yeah. Yeah. Tarek's also in Bortle 8-9.
Yeah, man, we should just do like an 8-9 kind of party Only people that are over Bortle 8 can come to the next show. So SGP uses its own database and plates out for go-to. You won't need something like, well, no. So we didn't even get to that part yet, Jim. And if you want, since you asked, we could skip right to it.
Yeah. There's a couple of different ways that
Yeah,
plate solver
so
works. It's
on the
just really
fourth
cool.
tab is the plate solver tab. Now you have to download a plate solver. It doesn't have its own internal plate solver.
Yep.
So I use Plate Solve 2, but there are others you could use. Pinpoint LE, I'm going to mess it up. Astrometry.net and AsTab. You could use them all. So I use Plate Solve 2 from Planewave Instruments. It seems to do very well. You don't have to worry about downloading different indexes. You do have to download two. You have to download the APM index and the UCAC 2.0, if I remember right.
Yep.
And you download that, and then you can put that into here in Plate Solve 2, and then you just go into the settings. You point this to the directories, which is
Not showing your screen.
no, not. Okay, sorry. And there you go.
There you go.
Okay. So let me go back a little bit. So Plate Solve is the fourth tab, and you could just download your plate solver into here, and these are the ones that are available. So Plate Solve 2, and then settings, and then you download also from the same website the APM and the UCAC star catalogs, and you configure them here. You point it to the directory where you saved it at, and it should say OK. Now there's one more step to that. Whatever binning, how many seconds. Now when you go into here as well, you're going to want to edit your parameters. You want to put your location, which star catalog you want to use, and most of these are the defaults. You don't have to worry about much on this. Just know that, where is it? It's under oh shoot, cancel. Oh, it doesn't matter, I'm on another one. But there is, where is it?
My dog is giving me the eye.
This is the same thing, I think. Yeah, so it's gonna grab from your camera and your image scale. It's gonna grab these numbers for Plate Solve that we put in the first tab. But once it does this, it will actually go through the Plate Solve routine, take a picture, match it up, move the scope, take another picture to verify. If it's still not there, move the scope, and take keep on taking picture up to however many times you want. I have attempted center one time. Well, actually, I have it. I think 3 or 4 times. No, I don't want to say that one. But if I go to my regular, I have up to 10 times. Less than 200 pixels and less than 3 degrees of an error. So that's what I use for Plate Solve. They're complaining about the daylight in the yard. It's pretty bad. But yeah, so we're coming up on 9:30, and that's the basic setup. The only other thing we didn't really go over is the telescope and the auto guiding tab, and this stuff we could go over another night. But telescope, again, your ASCOM driver for your mount, not your telescope, your mount. Hopefully, I don't think your telescope has an ASCOM driver. So I park when the sequence is over, And I also do the auto meridian flip. Now you're going to have to kind of make sure that you set this up if you're like me and you have ASCOM, and I don't think this is going to work. Okay, yeah, so it does. Unfortunately, this one doesn't show the setup on the meridian flip, but ASCOM has its own EQ. ASCOM has its own meridian flip settings, but you could put them here, and then it will do the meridian flip. That's it. Worked fine last night. It was wonderful. And then the auto guider as well. Use PhD2 guiding. If you have it downloaded, you just pick it. You actually have to point it to which, give it a second, to which profile you're using. I have a couple different profiles that I have, but that's the one I use the most. And then that's it, and it will open up PhD guiding for you, do your calibration and everything. The switches I haven't played with. There's ASCOM switches for the Eagle that I haven't played around with yet. And the last tab is for your flat box, your rotator, observatory, safety, so weather, safety, environment, anything that you may be able to have to add in there. I didn't think I lost Scott. Scott's still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I thought you were sleeping.
No. My dog was giving me the eye. He's like, I'm gonna pee in your shoe if you don't take me out. So,
Nice.
yeah. You might also talk about the difference between, like with plate solve. There's a plate solve that relies on the internet, for your directories, right? So it pulls from directories right straight from the internet.
Right.
But then there's also ones, if you are in a site where there's no connectivity, there's no internet, you can download all of your directories right to your hard. Now, granted, you're going to chew up space doing that, but if you don't have any choice, that might be an option for you.
Yeah, and that's actually a program called ANSVR, and you could download that. And if you don't have internet connection, you won't be shit out of luck. So
Right.
you'll have all your directories, just like Scott said, on your hard drive. Just make sure you have enough space to fit it. It's really not too crazy with most computers. If you have a solid state drive, you may be in a little trouble. But if you have a regular 3.5 or 2.5 inch hard drive in your laptop, if you're in the terabyte, or more range, you'll be fine.
Right.
And what else we got? And that's pretty much it for right now. AstroWorld TV did this SGP plate solve between each sub. If so, does it affect dithering? So, it does not. It plate solves once, and then the guiding takes over.
Mm-hmm.
Once the guiding takes over, SGP runs a dither command to PhD, and PhD does the dither.
Yeah.
So, I hope that answers your question. But it does not. If you want to if you plate solve in between each sub, man, let me tell you, you're going to get about an hour of imaging done all night.
Yeah. You don't need to plate solve on every image.
No, once
It's
it
not
plate
necessary.
solves and the tracking takes over, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm sorry, not the tracking, the guiding. Once the guiding takes over.
Yeah. Once the mount knows where it's pointing to,
Yep.
and it's locked in on that, as long as you don't do something stupid like kick your tripod, or
Yeah.
back into your telescope with your Jeep, don't do that.
Yeah, and the only other time it will plate solve more than once per session, there's actually 2 instances I can think of where it'll plate solve again after the first one of the session. One, you're changing targets.
Yep.
That's the first thing. The second thing is after a meridian flip,
Meridian flip. Yeah.
and that's it.
Yep.
Now you could, if you want to, you could throw switches in there and make a plate solve more often, but I really think that's just adding a lot more downtime to your imaging.
Yeah.
That it's going to become counterproductive, and that I don't know if I would want to do. There's no need to do it more than
there's no
once,
need
and
to.
then after the flip.
Yeah. I mean, if you're changing target, sure. But yeah, meridian flip, change target. It's the only. I can't think of any other reason.
Yep, I can't think of another reason, unless if you turn off the scope and you do it all over again for whatever reason, lose power. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Something
usually
outside of
only
normal operation.
played solve once, then auto guy with PhD multi-star. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Yep.
that's a nice little. I spoke a lot tonight, man. What the hell, man? You were nice and quiet again.
Well, you have to forgive me. I literally have driven my poor body into the freaking ground these last 3 weeks.
I hear you.
I'm not 27 anymore,
I know.
Excuse me. But not for nothing, but we did get both Dan and I were able to secure our Antlias.
Oh, yeah.
and,
Mine are in
boy,
my
we were-
in the
we
filter
were so
wheel.
excited about that, and that called me out of the blue. Dan did, and he said, "Hey, Woodland Hills has got some unmounted 36 millimeters. You want them?" I'm like, "Are you kidding?"
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you what I picked up from Tops, since I have nothing else to talk about. So, see if I can open this up.
Amazing.
This,
These are Lantleys.
yeah, this has nothing to do with astrophotography, but I'm going to take it. I haven't taken it out of the cardboard yet. So I just did it right now. And I'm going to try and do this without screwing it up, because I'm going to get this framed.
Would you
Oh,
get a
it's,
picture?
it's in. Okay, so it's in more of a picture. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this nice and carefully. I thought this was kind of cool. And this has nothing to do with astrophotography at all. I'm going to try and do this without my fingers.
One of the things that you notice about companies
go.
like oh, look at that. That's awesome.
That is an Topps 80th anniversary poster of a 1976 poster of Star Trek, which was a card set up with one stick of bubblegum. And
That's very
you
cool.
got bubblegum with that. So I'm going to get this
Yeah.
framed. I got this from
That's
Topps.
very cool.
And I'm going to be careful with this so the tape doesn't...
Yeah, keep it mint.
Oh yeah, it's going back in. It's going right. It's going right to those guys that grade posters.
Mm-hmm.
It's going right to them.
You seal it and have it framed.
Yep, and graded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah, you
I
never go
made
wrong
that
with...
mistake once with my Star Wars Living Set card #1, the Darth Vader card that I have.
Oh,
I didn't do it right away, and I guess I bent a corner of it just very slightly. It went from a level 10 to a level 6,
yeah.
and you can't even tell. These guys, when they do this, it goes under a freaking microscope, and it checks everything.
Yeah.
And one last thing I'll show everybody before we go. Everybody saw the poster board that I had regarding the Star Party. But look for this. If you go into the Star Party,
There you go.
look for the banner. I got a banner made.
Nice.
So, there you go.
Nice.
That banner made, that'll be up at the Star Party with the 5 people that are going. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a good time. It's gonna be good to see some people that at least one that I've never seen. Eric's going. My friend Ron is coming with me. My friend Mark, who actually has been on the show a couple times, is coming.
Nice.
Who else is going? I doubt you're going. You're not probably going to make it.
Well, you never know.
Yeah,
It really depends on how things flush out.
And then I think we got about 3 other people across the board are coming. So it looks like about 6 to 7 people that are just going to hang out.
Yeah, you can always tell quality, with a company, and how they present, their product to you. I was talking to Dan about this, prior to the launch of the show. These Antilles are they are really packaged well. This is a hard Lexan. It's not Lexan. It's like a clear polymer, case that's got the magnetic. It's got the magnetic closures on it.
Yep.
You can see that they're really kind of tight. It holds that filter in there really quite well. It's all packaged and sealed, and you can tell that you're getting something, really, good quality when you see it come packaged like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
now my Optolong 2 inches are in there. So that'll be sold eventually.
Yep.
Is that a D&D shirt that you got on?
No, this is from. Actually, I don't think it's ESO at all. I think it's just MMO.
Okay, just a general.
Yeah, let's see if you can see it. It's
a party or
cool.
raid member that heals others and removes harmful poisons and diseases. Angel of Mercy, flying through battlefields and worthy. Cool. The only one
Get the last
who's
one
alive right now. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That's us healers, baby.
What else? Anything else? I think that's about it. I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott. I mean, it's a pleasure having you again. I know I spoke a
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
this time. But whenever
once we get down to Florida and we get settled,
Yep.
I'm gonna be back to my regular.
I'm sure.
Regular
Oh
self.
yeah,
It's
I know.
things are just crazy. I mean, absolutely crazy. I've done 8 windows. I've done an entire kitchen reface. Literally built the whole thing all in my own wood shop. I'm painting 2 rooms. Trim.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
Quit your complaining.
Just crazy.
You're moving to Florida.
Yeah, I know. Got to get as much money out of this house as I can, man.
Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you.
So.
All right. So I guess that being said, I think we're going to be finished for the night. Thank you everybody for watching, and we're going up in the subscriber field. We're at 825. I think we're at.
Nice.
And I hope I haven't been blowing up everybody's Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, whatever. But I'm starting to get into the social media end of things, and it's actually kind of cool. It's not as hard as I thought, and I got a lot of people helping me. So I want to say thank you to Jared, who's been a big help so far, and we picked up I think another friend, Bobby, is going to be coming and helping us on the website a little bit. So we'll see what happens. And hey, everybody, Jim, Tarek, Gary, Eric, whoever else was on, I noticed 8 or 9, Mark. Thank you for being a supporter like you are. Thank you so much. And we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to keep on doing it until it catches on, and it'll catch on. But thank you so much for your constant support. It's been awesome. So that being said, I mean, thank you everybody, and as always, remember, keep imaging, keep educating, clear skies.
Clear skies.
Have a good night, guys. Take care. We'll see you Wednesday night with Pete Proul from IP for AP. Yeah, I know astronomer that on Twitch. I know that guy. But catch you later. Eventually, we'll be on Twitch, and we'll never have his following, I don't think, because he's got a corner on the market. But have a good night, guys. Take care. Gary, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm tired. But yeah, so no, I know him. I've actually seen him a couple of his feeds. So he's actually pretty cool. He's very knowledgeable. He does a lot of live streaming. So all right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night. We'll see you next time on AstroWorld. Come by Wednesday night. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Bye for now.
Bye.